Yo, what's going on, boys? In this video, I'm going to be giving you 100 pro level tips to help you in competitive. This video took about 30 hours to create, so make sure to stick around for all 100 tips. Without further ado, let's jump straight in. While W-keying, always look to force builds into your opponent's box. Stop looking for quick fixes to your problems. Improvement takes time and is truly meant to be a challenge. Push through your mistakes and trust the process. Get comfortable recovering from mistakes during your fights. Staying calm after making a mistake is the key to getting out of bad situations. Get into the habit of only practicing on the comp server. Getting used to your tournament ping is going to help your fighting feel more natural and competitive. Take the time to learn at least 3 different types of tarps to use for endgames. The standard tarp, elevated tarp, and cheap tarp are very common and useful in competitive. Make sure to leave your landing spot with 500 wood, 500 brick, and at least 250 metal in competitive. To improve your game sense, you need to actively study and memorize the locations of coolers, barrels, and slurp trucks across the map. Websites like Fortnite.gg are made to help you out with this. When pressuring someone's box, never drop onto their wall. Instead, apply pressure from a high right-hand peak to make sure you stay protected. Start playing with your game volume relatively loud. You need to be hyper aware of everything going on around you to make sure you never get caught off guard. Recognize when it's time to end a fight. Fully commit and get the kill as fast as you can. This season's movement is pretty decent, but the grapple blade is the best option for solo endgame rotates. During endgame, you need to be hyper aware of your tops. You can start picking up really easy kills by catching people completely off guard from below. Make sure you keep track of what builds are yours in a fight. Even having just one wall can turn a fight in your favor. You can extend cones up to 2 boxes away. Use this to block off your opponent and end the fight quickly. Stop making excuses for things you can't control. You truly can't improve if you don't address your problems from the source. Lacking accountability for your mistakes will never get you to a pro level on the game. Start treating the game like a profession. The idea of playing the game for fun needs to go out the window. You need to fully have your focus on improving each time you get on Fortnite. Your mechanics, fighting, and aim need to be automated. Pros have spent a lot of time building very good habits in those 3 major categories of Fortnite. That's why they're so successful and competitive. Your gameplay needs to be subconscious. You need to be constantly moving and going for plays while fighting against your opponent. Constant pressure and a calculated, aggressive style is what separates pros from casual players. Find a duo that has the same goals for the game as you. If you want to be a pro and your duo isn't committed to grinding and learning the game like you are, you need to make the change and find someone who is. If you notice yourself struggling to win your ones, each time you get on the game, at least 3 hours of your time needs to be spent grinding solo ranked and some sort of 1v1 map like realistics or box fights. Start surrounding yourself with other good players. Click the Discord link in the description for an invite to my competitive friend group. Diagonal box fighting needs to become a key portion of your gameplay. Fighting on the left side of someone's box automatically lends you a right-hand peek. Eliminate bad tendencies in creative. Things like DC ramping, stalling, and excessive chopping in creative will severely tank your ability to fight in competitive. Since you've built such an overly passive and non-fundamental playstyle, you will struggle during tournaments. All builds at 75 HP or lower can be broken with one pickaxe swing. If you want to VOD review a pro player, go to FortniteTracker.com, click the events tab, and select a recent tournament you know they played in. Scroll down and pick any team on the leaderboard. Then look at team details, click the yellow square on the game you want to watch, copy the ID session, and paste it into the replay tab on Fortnite. Don't just mindlessly watch the replays. Actively try to understand why the team you chose made the decisions that they did and how they positively or negatively affected them in the event. You need to be scrimming as much as possible. Vital scrims and manual scrims are some of the best practice you can get for competitive endgames. Start to master tempo switching. If you watch pros fight, you'll notice they constantly change the speed they're fighting at, and this makes them unpredictable and incredibly difficult to track in a fight. Always look to end fights as quick as possible. Place each build with a purpose. You should be able to ask yourself, why am I placing this build? Every material you use should give you some sort of advantage over your opponent. Start analyzing your opponents. You can get a good estimate of their skill by looking at the way they react to being pressured. Do your best to start every fight with the health advantage. Having more HP than your opponent is crucial to keeping yourself on the offensive side of a fight. While fragging, the majority of your encounters will come down to pure aim. You have to be confident when you're in a box, and if you sell your shots, it's literally just over for you. Piece control where your opponent is going, not where they are. If you can predict your opponent's movement, you can easily pick up free kills. Hitting headshots with your pump is gonna win you fights. Invest in yourself and check out CelestialCustomPCs.com. They offer high-performance gaming computers that are professionally built, tested, and optimized for the best performance possible. They offer pre-builds starting at $790. Click the link in the comments to check out their online store. If you're trying to become a better IGL, you need to be constantly taking notes and learning the fighting style and habits of professional IGLs like my personal favorite, Epic Whale. In competitive, you and your duo need to have an established drop spot that both of you are confident fighting, looting, and rotating out of. Make it a habit to block off your angles whenever there's the potential for you to get shot. You can legit walk through walls by just running at it when it's weak and shooting your gun as soon as you touch the wall. Never be on second height. Height team will fully ego you off that layer, and dealing with that constant pressure from the top is very hard to manage. Don't waste time jumping on opportunities for refreshes. You need to be constantly playing the game. To truly learn game sense, you have to gain a lot of experience fighting. Put yourself in your opponent's shoes while fighting. Try to think about how they'll react to the situations that you put them in. You and your teammate individually have to be able to hold your own against two players. I'm not saying you need to be able to 2v1 every fight, but if you get keyed by a duo, you need to give your teammate time to get to you and force a 2v2. If you get quick deaded before your teammate gets there, 9 times out of 10 it's just over. While fighting as a duo, you have to start pinching your opponents by attacking from opposite angles. Don't let other people's opinions about your commitment to the game impact the way you think about your goals. If you believe you have what it takes to go pro, that's all that matters. You have to be consistently outworking everyone you play with. Start becoming obsessed with the grind. Working harder will never not benefit you. I know a lot of people suggest stretch res for improvement, but it simply is not better than native. Playing native heightens your awareness and helps your aim. 99% of pros are on 1920 by 1080 for a reason. Address your weaknesses on the game and work on them instead of practicing what's already easy for you. Too many players now only focus on mechanics and leave severe gaps in their gameplay like aim and game sense. Start rounding yourself out as a player. Recognize when you're burnt out for the day and get off the game. Playing while you're burnt out is one of the worst things for your mental state. Fortnite is a very mental game, and trying to play in the wrong headspace just isn't the right move. After you take a lot of damage, your goal should be to abuse your mats and reset the fight. Push yourself to fight seriously and actively force yourself to train at full capacity. Any weapon with a fire rate of 7 or above can bleed through walls. If you're an IGL, you shouldn't be a better fighter than your fragger. You need to find a duo that forces you out of your comfort zone in 1v1s. IGLing is a very difficult position to play, but you need to be capable of taking a lot of responsibility. You lead the team. If you make a bad call, you put both you and your fragger at risk. As a fragger, you need to understand when an attempt at a refresh isn't worth it. If the attempt fails the first time, stop going for the attempt and find another team to catch off guard. Unless there's a legitimate problem with your binds or settings, don't change them. The overwhelming majority of the time, it's not your settings or your binds holding you back, it's literally just your skill, and the only way to fix that is to put the work in. Whenever you take damage in a fight, your goal should be to instantly reflect that damage back onto them. You have to abuse pre-edits. You can full wipe kids if you catch them off guard with pre's. Time your edits with your opponent's pickaxe swings. If you edit and force them to miss the wall with their swing, you literally have a free pump shot. You can blueprint edit walls from a full box away. Play distance in box fights and edit without exposing yourself. You need to know your comp drop spot like the back of your hand. Every chest, ammo crate, and floor loot spawn needs to be memorized. The only complaints you should be making are ones that acknowledge the things you do wrong. As an IGL, you need to relay whatever you're thinking to your teammate, especially while rotating. You should almost be walking your teammate through every move you make to make sure you stay together. Stop slowing down to shoot people on your rotates. It wastes way more time than you think, and successful rotates are time sensitive. Prioritize your positioning over your loot. Being in a good spot allows you to make refresh attempts at a much lower risk than if you put yourself in a scuffed situation. Always think about the collateral effect of each play you make. Everything you do should put you in a better position to win the game, and mindless plays will punish you heavily. Manage your bullets. While you're rolling up on a box, don't empty a full clip into the walls. Keep at least half of your bullets loaded. If they decide to 50-50 you and you're not reloaded, you've just completely sold your game. Start VOD-reviewing your own gameplay. Be honest with yourself and pick out the things that led you to deaths, but also pick out the things that led you to winning fights. Consistency is the hardest part about duo cash cups. You have to work really hard to make sure every game counts, and you can't afford to be in a stacked game and spend 20 minutes in it just to die before placement starts ticking. Start blaming yourself and not the weapons for your deaths. 99% of your deaths are skill issues. Never jump right onto a wall without standing on a cone that's yours. If they make an edit, you need to be able to flip your cone and block their shot. If you and your duo are pressuring the same wall, one of you needs to be holding the wall in a different material and the other needs to be spraying until the wall is claimed. Start fighting against a good mix of players in creative. Being able to consistently beat a variety of different playstyles is very good practice. Burn your wood as you rotate through stacked mid-games. Players are constantly looking for surge and kills. You have to protect yourself from getting fried. This is pretty common knowledge, but always box up with a cone inside your box. While box fighting with your duo, you need to both be in separate boxes. If you go for a peanut butter edit, you might be protected by the peak, but your teammate won't be. And almost 100% of the time, they'll take over 100 damage. One of the fastest ways to claim back walls is to pump it first and then go for a pickaxe swing. Never die with heals on your body. Use everything you have to stay alive. Keep up with the meta and study pros to find the best loadouts to carry in competitive based on the role you play. Start abusing high wall piece control in every single fight. Being able to piece control from 2 layers below allows you to aggressively play for a kill. Play by your loadout. If you don't have heals, you absolutely cannot take trades if you get into a fight. Always make sure you have a refarm before you box up in hard mats. You need to be as close to cap mats as you can going into endgame. In duo cash cups, you need to have a good start. Aim for 100 points your first game and try to end the first hour of the tournament with at least 150 points. Then slow down and keep every game after that as consistent as you can. Build really good chemistry with your duo by running 2v2s against good players in box fights and learning each other's playstyle through 1v1s. Listen to advice from other people who are better than you at the game. They know something you don't, and almost every time if you apply it to your gameplay, you will improve. Stop 1v1ing for ego boosts. Fight players who actually challenge you to work hard. Have the discipline to practice every single day. Your training needs to become less of what you want to do, but more of what you need to do. Stay hydrated, well fed, and well rested. Making sure your body and mind is satisfied will help you play better. Find a mental escape other than Fortnite. Other games like Minecraft are really good at releasing pent up stress or frustration from grinding Fortnite. In tournaments, you need to be fully locked in and hyper aware. Turn off the music, keep your phone off, and put 100% of your effort into that tournament. Keep your setup clean. Back to thinking of the game as a profession, you can't perform your best with a cluttered desk and trashy area. The better your environment, the better you'll be. Drop your ego. The first step to actually getting better is understanding when there are things you can improve on. Confidence is a key differentiator between pros and casuals. You can't be scared at all when playing the game. If your teammate is dangerously low HP, you can't open any edits. The risk of them getting shot while healing is just too high. Hold the walls to make sure they can get their heals off. Get a notebook and start writing things down. Anything you notice about your fighting, habits, or major gaps in your gameplay should be addressed and solved. Flowberries are the best endgame rotation for duos. They allow you and your teammate to stick together and not get too separated. Last but not least, don't copy pros binds or settings with the thought process that it's going to make you better. It truly won't. You're your own player, and the perfect binds are the ones that optimize your movement and are comfortable for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The face reveal is coming at 1K subs.